What's happening, crazy cats out there on the internet? Duckville here. We have got a Masters level, just a simple 1v1. As you can see, it's a little bit of a quicker one this time. But I thought we'd have some fun with just a particular game that I found down here in the bottom left-hand side of Yonsu LE is our Blue Protoss player by the name of ToiletFinder. This is on the NA ladder, I believe, so you can obviously expect what's going to happen in a slightly shorter vid of this particular ladder, but top right hand side as our Red Zerg player here for the Lucy clan, the name of my dog actually, it is nickyboy. And we'll see what nickyboy is going to do here with our Zerg on this map. Obviously, as you can probably tell, I have had a quick look at the start of this game just to see what exactly happened, but yeah, we'll see what happens at the end. I haven't actually seen the end, but here we go. We do have a probes heading out. We do have a pylon inside the main here. Of course, this map is really cool for particularly for Protoss players. I think it's quite nice. You can set up a nice third base. A Zerg has to be very careful when they take their base because he can set up if the hatcheries here, Colossus and Stalkers and these kinds of things can attack up to the high ground. This is why we do generally tend to see the bases the base being taken up here a little bit more, as it is a little bit safer in that respect. You do have to get rid of rocks now. Rocks to get rid of it though. Now, well, ToiletFinder attempting to do something a little bit, well, you don't see it very often, but attempting to be, you know, I'm so AFK, guys. But apparently, you know, just a little bit of pretending that he was AFK is going to head inside and actually, what looks to be, yep, go for a cannon rush here. He wants to get something cheesy going on. Now, he is going to use the low ground here. Interestingly, the pylon on the high ground. This is a slightly different version of this kind of play that I have not really seen before. We can see that normally people will set up the pylon on the low ground, the cannon will then go over here, and that's how you generally set it up. But this way, you do get the high ground vision, which is quite nice for that cannon. It means that it is going to get that high ground spot. But, well, for nickyboy, he knows something cheesy is going on, something cheeky, and he is going to set up a hatchery of his own inside his opponent's main base. So this could get a little bit dicey here. We do have even a gateway inside the main base of nickyboy. So cheese ahoy from our Protoss player, and then a little bit of, I suppose, counter cheese from his counterpart here. The probe is still just dancing about. I think, I believe that nickyboy actually scouted that there was a second probe or something like that, and that's why he's reacting in such fashion, because it's a little bit suspicious to see that second probe. So he does have a couple of cannons to deal with on the edge of the creep here. Can't see them just yet, but we do have a spine crawler set up. There is going to be some gas coming in. These Evo chambers, I'm a little bit... I suppose these are to deal with zealots. You sort of block out zealots so that really the only paths through the back here are, that's the only way you're going to get onto that spine crawler. But I suppose the best way we're going to react to this, for the Zerg players, of course, generally roaches are your best friend when you're being cannon rushed and something like this, especially when it's a very aggressive cannon rush like this, just sort of holding you back inside the main base here. Another thing you can do, which my good Zerg buddy, Mr. Galen, likes to do, is to block the natural with a hatchery instead of actually putting it here. But as you can see, nickyboy does have those links now inside. You can assume that from the Protoss perspective that there is obviously a hatchery somewhere, because those links didn't just run out on their own. Well, we can see now that this zealot does have a little bit of range here and is able to, or is a little bit out of range of that spine crawler. It's all the way over here, and now this spine, I don't believe, can get out of there. So we will need to see nickyboy build up another spine crawler there. But over on his opponent's side of the map, he's making some roaches here. We can see that ToiletFinder does have a cyber on the way. There is one cannon protecting this base, and if a few more roaches pop out, that is certainly not going to be enough to hold this all back. He will need to get that mothership core out ASAP. Otherwise, he is going to be dead to rights here. He does have, you know, he's starting to set up his own base across here on the other side of the map, which will give him a nice little, I suppose, second fortification to, you know, prepare his new base if we do come to that. But the Roach is now attacking onto the cyber core here, trying to get that down as quickly as they can before any stalkers pop out. But there will be at least one stalker here. In fact, yeah, it should be just the one as the mothership core now pops out. This could certainly put a little bit of a monkey wrench in things here, as that does get the photon overcharge up and running. This kind of attack could be I suppose this counter cheese in a way may be deflected, but we'll see, because the Queen should be able to hold back that Mothership core. The Roaches should be able to go to work on the cannons and the pylons here if need be. It looks like ToiletFinder is going to be able to snipe out a couple of the units. Well, nickyboy needs to be very careful here. We'd love to see some more Roaches, but back at home he's busy dealing with another threat. A Stalker has been able to find range outside of the Spine Crawlers here to be able to try and take out that hatchery. It's actually going to get really low because nickyboy has no units here, and it's not as if he can sort of get into range, because anytime you're inside of the range of these cannons here, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because they are just going to shred up anything, especially Lings, and of course even the Roaches will get annihilated there. So we have now got nickyboy trying to push back inside. The Mothership Core almost has enough energy, just a couple more and then we're good to go. Going to lock down this space here with the Photon Overcharge. nickyboy forced to retreat. No real way that he can contest with that. He could certainly like have a go at maybe trying to take out the Nexus, but I mean, there's no, it's not going to be an efficient trade here. Even if you have this many Roaches, like there's 9 Roaches here, even with that many, you're not going to do too well against the Photon Overcharge. So ToiletFinder is now looking for the next level of tech here, which you always would want to be going to if you're the Protoss player and you're in this weird situation. Void Rays are always key. If you can get 3-4 Void Rays out, they can take out Queens, and then of course once the Queens are gone, the Zerg will generally not have enough to be able to deal with those few forces. So we can see now that nickyboy trying to go head to head with that with the Photon Overcharge Nexus, ironically now backing out while it's when it has finally stopped being overcharged. So I'm not really sure what the plan is here, but this hatchery is very, very low right now. A couple of Spine Crawlers have come across. They may be able to try and take it down. Unfortunately, the Spines will be able to poke it down, and in fact they will get rid of the Zealot and then also one of the Stalkers that were there. Now ToiletFinder is going to look towards trying to get some Void Rays up, but as you can see, his Nexus has gone down. He has abandoned some of his well, he's abandoned this base. He's going to evacuate the probes out of there. He has now even cancelled one of the Void Rays that was about to start here. I mean, he can now rebuild the Nexus, which is all quite nice, but I mean, is he going to have enough Void Rays now? Because all nickyboy needs to do here is just crank out a couple more Queens, and then this may be game over, because with that many Roaches, how many Roaches have we got on the field? 16 Roaches are now out for nickyboy, and they can easily chomp through the few Stalkers that are on the ground, so that's not going to be an issue there for nickyboy. He just needs to be careful about what comes out in the air, and I mean, without the extra Void Rays to come across and do something here, well, I would suspect that maybe ToiletFinder is in a little bit of trouble. He's now lost all of the bases inside his main, and well, we'd assume that nickyboy is going to march his way back across the map here. Does he know? I don't think he knows. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know that the base is being set up over here, but we will have a couple of, well, a fortress here is being set up by nickyboy. He's decided, you know, if you're going to come and try and take me, he'll go down fighting with 3 Spore Crawlers, 3 Spine Crawlers, not to mention the drones that can come out and be a little bit annoying. An additional little tactic you could possibly use is to drop the Overlords just right here and keep them in the way of the Spores and the Spines, if you could, just to try and make sure that you can try and possibly try and block out the Spores from being targeted down. But now the drones will look to escape. They are heading back across the map. A couple will die down. The workers at the moment, 23 probes to the 9 drones of nickyboy. And nickyboy is now on his way back. He knows now where that extra base is. He said, it's over here. We're all good to go. So he's going to head straight back across. We can see there is almost no production. 1 Void Ray about to pop out now. As I mentioned, you would really like 2-3 Void Rays would be possibly the best sort of situation here. Unfortunately, nickyboy was not able to get another Queen out over on the right-hand side, well, what used to be his main base, but now with nickyboy's Roaches pushing across, the first Void Ray is on the way, but will it be able to save the Nexus in time? Because look at the money for ToiletFinder. He's about to hit the 400 mark. He can build another Nexus perhaps, but if he does that, then he won't be able to build any units. And while this is going on, long-distance mining is going on for nickyboy here. So this is going to end up in a dead Nexus. The first Void Ray will come out. Of course, the Void Rays can shoot Roaches for days. Charge that one up. It's the ToiletFinder if you want to have a hope of actually finishing these Roaches off. 2 Queens now slowly lumbering their way across. Will they be able to get there in time? nickyboy going to target down the probes to try and make sure that the pylon, so that there is no more production here. And he should be able to take care of, well, pretty much. Yeah, I'd like to see him just back off, let the Queens deal the damage here, and yeah, without the extra little bit of damage that comes out from, you know, two or three Void Rays, then this is not going to happen. The Void Rays go down, the Queen's successful, they had a couple of transfuses if need be, and that will be it. The weirdest of games, we had a literal base trade where it became the Zerg base had disappeared and we had this fortress of static defense set up, and unfortunately for ToiletFinder, just not able to compete with the Queens and the few roaches that were left over for nickyboy. A little bit of a fun game, hope you all enjoyed it, catch you all next time. Here. As you can see, 47 damage to bio units and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really nicely there. And for Minigun, he's been sticking with a much more